And he's probably the least likely man anyone could have imagined to become governor of Montana. He was acting governor, actually. But you mentioned he was convicted. Yeah, he was convicted and sentenced to be hung by the neck until dead, drawn and quartered, with his body parts scattered to the corners of Ireland.
Welcome to the Montana Majority Report. Quick, transparent, and informative. Get the inside scoop on policies, people, and decisions shaping our state, all in less time than it takes to pour your morning coffee. Stay tuned. Montana starts right here.
My name is Mike Cuffe, State Senator, Senate District 1, which is the northwest corner of Montana. My northern border is with British Columbia, Canada. My western border is with the state of Idaho. And so we're right up there in the corner. And my Irish grandparents came there back in as early as the 1870s. And when my grandmother's eldest brother came, and she came in the late 1880s, and my grandfather was in the U.S. He had come into Montana back shortly thereafter. So I have lots of Irish roots, deep Irish roots on my mother's side of the family as well. In fact, just over the hill here from the capital is Last Chance Gulch in Helena, Montana. And my great-grandfather was one of the fellows that pulled gold out of the ground there. And must have been tough living, tough sledding. But he came up with enough gold to invest in cattle and land and became one of the cattle barons of Montana. So that being said, I have deep feelings for Ireland. I had very many questions. And my now good friend, President of the Senate for the Republic of Ireland, his name is Mark Daly, and I am honored to have him on the podcast with us today. Mark Daly organized a number of legislative groups called the Irish Caucus from a number of states that make a trip to Ireland. We paid our own way. This is not a government handout kind of a thing. We paid our own way to go. Senator Mark Daly in Ireland put the trip together. We learned a great deal about the Irish history and how things are the way they are today in Ireland, how tough the times were. Take it away, Mark.
Well, thanks so much, Mike and Evangeline, for having me on. This is a great honor to be part of this podcast. And I've been to Montana. I've been to the capital a number of times. I was there in 2017 to commemorate the anniversary of Thomas Francis Meagher, who created the Irish flag behind us here. He was the person who first flew an Irish flag on the 7th of March, 1848. He led a rebellion in Ireland, and he went to, he was captured and put on trial for high treason, but it got commuted to transportation for life to Australia. He escaped from prison in Australia, made his way to America. He joined the 69th Regiment of the Union Army, the famous Fighting Irish Brigade. He was fighting in the Battle of Antietam and Fredericksburg. He ended up as a friend of Abraham Lincoln and a pallbearer at Lincoln's funeral, and became the acting governor of Montana, one of the greatest Irishmen, but also a symbol of the great connection between Ireland and the United States of America. And that's why we were so excited about the Montana-Ireland Trade Commission. And it was great to testify before the committee. And we're looking forward to building the relationships between Montana and Ireland, and all down to the hard work of Mike Cuffe and so many others, Katie Sullivan, Shannon O'Brien, and many, many more.
Thank you. And that's a good way to get into this. Thomas Meagher, there's a twin statue to the one that's in front of the Capitol at Waterford, Connecticut, which was his birthplace. And he's probably the least likely man anyone could have imagined to become governor of Montana. He was acting governor, actually. But you mentioned he was convicted. Yeah, he was convicted and sentenced to be hung by the neck until dead, drawn and quartered, with his body parts scattered to the corners of Ireland, before the Queen commuted the sentence, sent him off to a penal coast off the coast of Australia. And he got off there, and then he was not just in that Irish brigade, he led it. He was General Thomas Meagher in the Civil War, led two very bloody charges up a hill, was wounded, a great many of the folks following him were killed, wound up out here. But that's history, long ago history. Today, we had a big celebration today. Mark Daly and I carried the bill creating a trade commission from Montana to Ireland. And this will be a self-funded commission. We already have some openings on the commission. The commission will be attached administratively to the Department of Commerce, and Commerce has already been working with developing some high-tech business with Ireland, which is a real hub. I believe they called it the Tiger of the European Union, with all the high-tech industries that moved into Ireland, and including a number from the United States. We are developing making some connections, especially in the world of photonics. Senator Daley and the Consulate General's folks in San Francisco been involved with that. So we're looking also in the world of agriculture, livestock, and Senator Daley, I intend to develop an exchange in the world of entertainment. So you may add what you might like. This is intended to develop a number of strong points between Ireland and Montana.
Well, absolutely. And I know that a huge delegation coming from County Cork, where so many people from Ireland left and started working in the copper mines in Butte, Montana. And that's happening in the next number of months. But what we also look forward to is our parliamentary committees going to Montana on a regular basis, bringing our agencies in relation to trade and education, but also bringing the parliamentary committees from Northern Ireland, that they would travel together as a unit, visit Montana, visit the universities there, visit the state capital, meet with the leaders in Montana, and talk about the creation of how we can build to the future. Because, while we're glancing back at the history of the past, we're looking forward.
Absolutely. And we're getting down to the ending time of our podcast. I have to say that this morning, 8 o'clock this morning, we were first in line. The Irish Trade Commission bill went across the Senate earlier. We had the House Business and Labor meeting 8 o'clock this morning. Mark Daly was a part of that, spoke up very well, as was the Consulate General in San Francisco. And have to say, last night I was at the governor's mansion. Montana Governor Greg Gianforte told me last night that if I get this bill to him on Monday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, his exact words is, "I'll be tickled to sign it as part of the St. Patrick's Day celebration." Attending that event will be Michal Smith, Sierra, the deputy consulate from San Francisco will be here, along with the Attorney General from the Republic of Ireland. And they will be here visiting the governor. The governor's going to sign the bill, and we're going to have an official slam bam thing that is not going to be just a name only, have fun thing. We are going to accomplish some growth of business, growth of economic affairs, both sides of the ocean. Right, Mark?
Absolutely. That's what we're looking forward to. And diplomacy, like politics, is a contact sport. And we look forward to coming back to Montana. I look forward there, along with my colleagues, going back to Montana, but also looking forward to welcoming the legislators and the leaders from Montana to Ireland, where so many of their ancestors left from.
And as we finished the hearing this morning, Mark, there were a number of people saying they want to join them, the Irish Caucus. They want to make that trip to Ireland. So there's another one for you to work on.
We'll be working on that too. We look forward to welcoming them all here and give them a Céad Míle Fáilte, which in the Irish language means 100,000 welcomes.
Thank you. And the same to you. We're going to have to sign off today. We've gone a minute over the time she gave us, but Mark, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today, and we will be talking again pretty soon. Thank you so much.
Mike. Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.